Emotions provide incredibly valuable information about the world to help us prioritize our attention and to be efficient about decision making. Identifying what feels good and what feels bad has major utility from an evolutionary perspective, which is why you can find emotional responses in both human and non-human organisms. Don Norman defined how designs can influence people's emotions and identified 3 different levels of emotional processing, each level reflecting increasing complexity in cognitive development and intelligence. The first, most basal level of emotional processing is the visceral level, which consists of unconscious, instinctive affective responses to external stimuli, completely unrelated to reasoning. Many life forms experience this emotional processing, including algae, which will gravitate toward favorable living conditions, like sunlight, and will avoid less favorable living conditions, like low light areas. Some human examples include when you smell freshly baked cookies, you might feel cozy or start to get hungry at the promise of tasty food. Or a really loud noise goes off nearby. It might startle you, make you anxious, or make your heart rate go up. It's important to note, while the word visceral is often used to describe the intensity of an emotion, visceral in this case is independent of emotional intensity and more focused on the source of the emotion, instinct, and involuntary responses. The next level of emotional processing is the behavioral level, which is an analysis of an experience, translated into an action or a response to the use or experience of a product or service. Some non-human life forms that experience this? Dogs. My dog Finley loves to hang out in our dining room because the windows are at perfect dog height for him to sit and watch the birds and squirrels go by. No stairs, no jumping. What a life. So the behavioral level is all about comfort or ease of use, or negative consequences. For example, if the self-checkout line at a grocery store happens quickly and seamlessly, I might be pleasantly surprised by how easy that was and come back to that checkout line next time. Or, a scarier example, if my computer crashes and I lose hundreds of hours of work, I might be appalled, furious, panicked that I have to redo all that work again. See? Intensity of emotion is extremely high, but happening at the behavioral level, because I'm analyzing the consequences of that experience. Finally, the highest level of emotional processing is the reflective level, which consists of conscious thought, interpretation, and reasoning, usually a statement of self-image. This is where self-awareness, consciousness of ourselves and our surroundings, and what we want other people to think of us comes into play, where we examine who we are in relation to others. For example, if I get upgraded to first class and I get to board the plane before everyone else, yeah, now everyone else gets to watch me make my way to this well-deserved seat that I earned. I might feel very important as a customer, perhaps more important than other customers, and think others find me important. On the other hand, if my boss realizes my unread email count in my inbox has surpassed socially acceptable levels, wow, did I really just say that on an NNG video? Now my boss will think I'm incredibly irresponsible and have poor email hygiene. Awkward. Anyway, you get the point. Reflective processing refers to the ability to reflect on your experiences and how they relate to you and your self-image. Why is it useful to know these? For starters, they can help you identify the best way to mitigate negative emotions or enhance positive ones. If we know an emotion is happening at the visceral level, no amount of reasoning with or providing contextual information will help us avert or enhance those emotions. Instead, our time might be better spent on helping avoid triggers of negative responses altogether, or simply enhancing the stimulus that caused the positive emotion. If an emotion is happening at the behavioral level, we know that it's a matter of managing expectations or adhering to standards and conventions, and we can influence that by providing usability improvements. The reflective level might have less to do with usability improvements and more to do with messaging. Maybe we can remind people what their behaviors are helping to accomplish, or why certain steps must be taken to ensure the well-being of others. In short, understanding how emotions are processed can help us come up with solutions that work with the way people think and not against it.